for us on our side, I mean, how many years were you at Per Se?
I was 5 years at Per Se, almost 7 years total in the company, and you learn so much discipline and so much technique and basic, understanding of what the cuisine should be and what the respect of the ingredient and why you're doing it and why the guest is so important. Really the background of the cuisine and why we do what we do every day.
Being a youngster in the Napa Valley when Thomas was first looking at the French Laundry and sitting at Trevina and dreaming this up, and I see it from a different side on my side. But I love to see that he had fun with it. Especially when it was the early years, and you would see all the oysters and pearls and the classics get invented. I just love that he didn't take himself he took the food very seriously, but he didn't take himself so seriously that he wasn't willing to have a little fun with it at the same time. And I think that syncopation in the menus like that is definitely important. I think it's inspired a lot of people to kind of just smile a little bit as they're cooking. If they can't smile, make sure the guests are smiling to enjoy it.
Gosh, when I think of Thomas Keller, I think of 2 years ago in Aspen, when I sat down to do an interview with CNN, and I sat down. I'll never forget this. I carried had a shot of tequila, a cocktail made by somebody I can't remember, and a glass of white wine. I show up, I sit down, I sit all my cocktails down, and 22 seconds later, Thomas Keller sits across from me, and we're doing an interview together, which I didn't realize, and he's drinking a water. I'm like, I couldn't be any more across the spectrum than I was right now. But yet the fact that I'm doing an interview with him was great, but I mean, the guy's he's a perfectionist, simplicity, pure. That's what comes to mind for him, We're opposites. I'm crazy.
Thomas as a chef has influenced me in many ways. As a young chef, you look at that as an ideal. The diligence, the persistence, the manner of thinking, the concern, the compassion that goes along with properly training a staff and nurturing people. And as someone who's aspiring to be a grown-up chef, and a chef whose restaurant is located in the same region and with a lot of similar aspirations, for me, Thomas always represents a challenge in that as much as I respect anybody, I always, for myself and for my people, want to create the greatest restaurant I can create. So Thomas, to me, was someone who taught me a lot and someone who still exists as something that I want to emulate.
Thomas Keller, I remember him very well when he was in LA, and for me, when I think about him, I think of intelligence, I think of cerebral, and I think that's really what he's brought, just the ability to think deeply.